Olive oil is one of the most popular and essential ingredients in a healthy diet worldwide. But did you know that using it the wrong way could seriously affect your health? In this video, we're going to reveal 10 common olive oil mistakes that could put your well-being at risk. These mistakes can potentially lead to issues like heart disease, cancer, and liver problems. From improper storage to cooking errors, you'll be surprised at how what seems like a healthy choice can turn hazardous. Stay with us till the end to protect yourself from these potential dangers. This video is going to be super informative, and you won't want to miss out. If you're ready to take control of your health, go ahead and hit the like button, and let's dive in. Mistake 1. Frying olive oil at too high a temperature. Risk of carcinogens. One of the most common and serious mistakes people make is frying olive oil at temperatures that are too high. When you overheat extra virgin olive oil, it can break down and release harmful chemicals like acrolein, a substance linked to cancer. Over time, this could increase your risk of developing cancers like stomach, colon, liver, or pancreatic cancer. Research has shown that regularly eating foods fried in overheated oil could significantly increase your risk of these diseases. For instance, a 2017 study found that people who frequently consumed fried foods had a 40% higher risk of stomach cancer. Another study emphasized that carcinogens released from overheated oils can not only cause cancer, but also speed up its progression. A well-known example of this is the case of an Italian chef who fried with olive oil for years, thinking he was making healthy choices. Unfortunately, he was later diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, which some experts link to his prolonged exposure to overheated olive oil. So, how can you avoid this? First off, extra virgin olive oil is fantastic for salad dressings, marinades, and drizzling over cooked foods, but it's not the best for frying. If you're cooking at high heat, go for oils like refined olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil, which have higher smoke points. You should also invest in a kitchen thermometer to keep an eye on the temperature when cooking. Lastly, don't reuse frying oil. Each time it heats up, it breaks down more and releases more harmful substances. Mistake 2. Using rancid olive oil, risk of liver damage. Here's something you might not think about. Rancid olive oil is not just unpleasant. It can actually harm your body, particularly your liver. When olive oil goes bad, it oxidizes and forms free radicals which can damage liver cells. Over time, this may lead to conditions like cirrhosis, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or even liver cancer. The liver is your body's detox center, filtering toxins and managing metabolism. But when it's overloaded with oxidized fats from rancid oil, it starts to break down. There are studies showing that this kind of damage can lead to fibrosis or cirrhosis, where healthy liver cells are replaced by scar tissue. Here's an example. A 55-year-old woman had no idea her long-term consumption of rancid olive oil was harming her liver. She ended up being diagnosed with cirrhosis, even though she didn't drink alcohol. Her doctors traced the problem back to her regular use of old, oxidized olive oil. To avoid this, always check your olive oil for any changes in color, smell, or taste. If it's cloudy, smells off, or has a bitter taste, toss it. And remember, olive oil should be stored in a dark glass bottle, away from heat and light. Once opened, try to use it within 6 months for the best quality. Mistake 3. Using expired olive oil, risk of consuming oxidized fats. Expired olive oil isn't just old, it can be dangerous. As olive oil ages, it loses its antioxidant properties and starts to accumulate oxidized fats. These fats can cause oxidative stress in your body, which can lead to issues like atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, heart disease, and even stomach cancer. Oxidative stress happens when harmful molecules damage your cells, including your DNA. Over time, this can lead to the buildup of plaques in your arteries, restricting blood flow, and potentially causing coronary heart disease or even a heart attack. There's a documented case of a man in his 60s who regularly consumed olive oil long past its expiration date. He later developed atherosclerosis and coronary heart disease, conditions that required immediate surgery to restore blood flow to his heart. Doctors pointed out that his long-term use of expired olive oil likely played a role in his condition. So how do you keep this from happening to you? First, always check the expiration date on your olive oil. Even if it's been stored well, the quality starts to drop as soon as you open the bottle. it's best to use it within 6 months of opening. Also, store your olive oil in a cool, dark place to keep it fresh longer. In summary, using expired olive oil is not just about cutting costs. It's a real risk to your health. The oxidized fats that build up in old oil can lead to serious diseases like heart disease and cancer. Always make sure to check the expiration date and store your olive oil properly to avoid these issues. Mistake 4. Using fake olive oil, risk of harmful additives. It's not just about wasting your hard-earned money. Using fake olive oil can pose a real threat to your health. Counterfeit oils, often marketed as genuine olive oil, may be mixed with cheap vegetable oils or harmful additives. This can lead to a range of serious health issues like stomach cancer, esophageal cancer, pancreatic cancer, heart attacks, strokes, and atherosclerosis. When you're buying fake olive oil, you're exposing yourself to the possibility of consuming trans fats, which are linked to severe health risks. Trans fats, which are created by hydrogenating oils to make them more shelf-stable, are dangerous because they increase bad cholesterol, LDL, and reduce good cholesterol, HDL. This imbalance can lead to plaque buildup in your arteries, contributing to heart disease, strokes, and other cardiovascular issues. But the dangers don't stop there. Trans fats are also linked to an increased risk of cancer. Studies have found a connection between trans fat consumption and the development of cancers like stomach, esophageal, and pancreatic cancers. For example, imagine someone thinking they're making a healthy choice by using olive oil every day. Years down the line, they experience fatigue, digestive issues, and heart problems. After seeing a doctor, they discover they've developed early-stage stomach cancer and atherosclerosis, all because they unknowingly used fake olive oil. To protect yourself, it's important to be selective when buying olive oil. Stick with reputable brands and trustworthy stores. Look for labels that indicate authenticity, like DOP, Denominazione di Origine Protetta, or IGP, Indicazione Geografica Protetta, which signify high-quality products. And remember, if the price of olive oil seems too good to be true, it probably is. Authentic olive oil is costly to produce, and if it's dirt cheap, it's likely fake or low quality. So, while it might feel like you're just getting a bad deal, the real risk of using fake olive oil is the potential harm to your health. The trans fats and other additives could put you on the path toward heart disease, cancer, and other life-threatening conditions. Be mindful and make sure you're getting the real deal. Your health may depend on it. Mistake 5. Adding olive oil to hot dishes right after cooking. Risk of carcinogens. Here's another common mistake that could be more harmful than you realize. Adding olive oil to hot dishes right after they're done cooking. While it might seem like a harmless finishing touch, this can actually lead to the formation of dangerous carcinogenic compounds. When olive oil is added to food that's still very hot, above 150 degrees Celsius 302 degrees Fahrenheit, the oil starts to oxidize. This breaks down the beneficial fats and antioxidants in the oil, producing substances like lipid peroxides, which can damage your cells and potentially lead to cancer. Studies suggest that consistently consuming food that has been exposed to oxidized oils increases the risk of developing gastrointestinal cancers like those of the esophagus, stomach, and pancreas. There's a story of a couple who believed they were eating healthy by using olive oil in their meals every day. Unfortunately, they weren't aware that adding oil to hot dishes was putting them at risk. Years later, one of them was diagnosed with stomach cancer, and their doctors traced it back to the harmful compounds formed from improperly using olive oil. The good news is this is easy to avoid. Simply let your food cool down a bit before adding olive oil. Aim for a temperature below 120 degrees Celsius 248 degrees Fahrenheit. By doing this, you'll preserve the oil's health benefits and avoid creating carcinogenic compounds. For the safest use, it's best to add olive oil to salads, dressings, or other cold dishes. So, if you're someone who loves to drizzle olive oil on everything right out of the oven or off the stove, take a moment to cool things down. This small step can make a big difference in keeping you and your loved ones safe from unnecessary health risks. Remember, your health is in your hands, and using olive oil the right way is an easy step toward protecting it. Mistake 6. Mixing olive oil with foods that speed up oxidation. This is one mistake that might seem harmless but could have some serious health implications. Combining olive oil with foods that oxidize quickly, like chopped vegetables or nuts, can lead to the creation of harmful compounds known as lipid peroxides. These substances have been linked to potential health risks, such as inflammation and possibly even cancer over time. So what's happening here? When certain foods, like freshly cut vegetables, think tomatoes or cucumbers or nuts, are exposed to air, they start to oxidize. Now, when olive oil is added into the mix, it can accelerate this oxidation process, and lipid peroxides form more quickly. These compounds can then damage cells and even DNA, which in turn can contribute to chronic health issues like arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, and in some cases, cancer. But don't panic. The good news is you can still enjoy your olive oil by being mindful of a few simple things. First, it's best to prepare dishes like salads just before eating them. Avoid leaving chopped veggies or mixed salads sitting out for too long, especially if they're dressed with olive oil. Use fresh ingredients as much as possible, and when it comes to nuts, make sure they're stored properly and not kept for too long. While some research, such as a 2018 study in food chemistry, suggests that a high intake of lipid peroxides could increase the risk of certain cancers like stomach and lung cancer, the key takeaway here is moderation and freshness. Preparing your food right before you eat it is one of the easiest ways to minimize any risk. Mistake 7. Storing olive oil in plastic containers. This is another common habit that many of us might overlook. Storing olive oil in plastic containers, especially if the oil is exposed to heat or stored for a long time, could lead to unwanted chemical contamination. The main culprit here is a compound called bisphenol A, or BPA, which can leach into the oil from plastic over time. Why does this matter? BPA is an endocrine disruptor, meaning it can interfere with the body's natural hormones. Studies have found links between BPA exposure and health issues like breast and prostate cancer, infertility, and even diabetes. The heat or prolonged storage can speed up this process, making it more likely that BPA will seep into the oil. To keep your olive oil free from unwanted chemicals, the solution is pretty straightforward. Use glass or metal containers, preferably dark ones, to block out light. Olive oil is sensitive to light and heat, so storing it in a cool, dark place is key to maintaining its quality and protecting your health. In one real-life case, a 45-year-old man from the US, who regularly used olive oil stored in plastic bottles, began to experience symptoms like fatigue and metabolic issues after years of use. It was discovered that he had developed conditions that might have been exacerbated by exposure to BPA. While it's difficult to directly link BPA to specific diseases, avoiding plastic when storing oil is an easy step to safeguard your health. Mistake 8. Using olive oil after freezing and thawing it. Freezing olive oil and then thawing it might seem like no big deal, but it can actually cause significant changes in the oil's chemical structure. This process can destroy the good fats and antioxidants in the oil, potentially turning it into something harmful rather than beneficial. Repeated freezing and thawing could even lead to toxic substances that are linked to serious health issues, including stomach cancer, liver cancer, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and coronary heart disease. Olive oil is packed with monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, which play a crucial role in protecting your cells from oxidative stress and supporting heart health. But when you freeze and thaw the oil, these benefits can break down, leading to the formation of lipid peroxides. These are toxic compounds that can harm your cells and trigger inflammation. Over time, this can raise the risk of diseases like liver and stomach cancers, as well as other chronic conditions. Take, for example, a young woman from the US who wanted to extend the shelf life of her olive oil, so she decided to freeze it. After a few months, she thawed the oil and used it regularly, unaware that the freezing had compromised its health benefits. Over time, she started experiencing stomach pain and was eventually diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which progressed to cirrhosis. Her doctors suggested that improper storage of olive oil could have played a role in her condition. To avoid these potential risks, it's best not to freeze olive oil. Instead, store it in a cool, dark place with a stable temperature. If you want to extend the shelf life, use a dark glass bottle and consume it within 6 to 12 months of opening. Also, avoid buying large quantities unless you plan to use them quickly. By doing this, you can maintain the oil's beneficial properties and keep it from oxidizing. In short, freezing olive oil and then thawing it may seem like a harmless habit, but it can lead to chemical changes that may increase the risk of serious health issues. Proper storage is essential to ensure you're getting all the health benefits from your olive oil. Mistake 9. Using olive oil for cooking in the microwave. Microwaving olive oil might seem like a quick and easy way to prepare food, but this method can cause significant changes in its chemical composition. When olive oil is heated in the microwave, it loses many of its beneficial components, and harmful substances, like aldehydes, can form. These compounds have been linked to health risks like lung cancer, esophageal cancer, chronic lung disease, and cardiovascular disease. The microwave heats the oil unevenly, causing the molecules to vibrate rapidly. This breaks down the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties of olive oil and leads to the production of aldehydes, which can cause oxidative stress and damage to cells. Regular consumption of food cooked this way can potentially raise the risk of cancer, especially in the lungs and esophagus. A man from the US, who frequently used olive oil in the microwave to cook his meals, is a real-life example of what can go wrong. Believing olive oil was a healthier choice, he used it daily in his microwave recipes. However, after several years, he began experiencing shortness of breath and chest pain. When he was diagnosed with early-stage lung cancer and signs of coronary heart disease, doctors speculated that one of the contributing factors might have been his regular use of olive oil in the microwave. To avoid these risks, it's best not to use olive oil for microwave cooking. Instead, use it at lower temperatures like for salad dressings or after cooking, where it can retain its beneficial properties. If you need to reheat food quickly, opt for other methods like baking or stovetop cooking. This way, you preserve the good in olive oil while avoiding the formation of harmful compounds. In conclusion, while microwaving olive oil may seem convenient, it can lead to the loss of its health benefits and the creation of toxic compounds that pose serious health risks. Protect your health by using olive oil in ways that keep its beneficial properties intact, and avoid high-heat methods like microwaving. Mistake 10. Storing food in olive oil for long periods. Botulism risk. This mistake can have serious consequences. Storing food in olive oil for extended periods without proper precautions can lead to botulism, a rare but potentially fatal condition. This risk comes from Clostridium botulinum, a bacterium that can thrive in low-oxygen environments like oil and produce a toxin that causes paralysis, respiratory failure, and even death. Olive oil is often used to preserve foods like garlic, peppers, and herbs because of its antioxidant properties. However, if these foods aren't stored under proper sterilization conditions, the oil can become an ideal breeding ground for Clostridium botulinum. The bacteria produce botulinum toxin, one of the most dangerous substances known to science. Just a tiny amount can block nerve signals, leading to muscle paralysis, including the muscles that control breathing. Botulism typically starts with symptoms like blurred vision, difficulty swallowing, and muscle weakness. If left untreated, the condition can escalate rapidly. According to studies from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, many cases of botulism in the US are linked to home-canned foods, including items preserved in oil. The scary part? These contaminated foods often look and smell completely normal, hiding the danger. For instance, a family from the US made homemade garlic and pepper preserves, stored in olive oil, to use as flavorful additions to their meals. During a family dinner, several members consumed the preserved food and fell seriously ill within hours, showing signs of botulism. Thankfully, emergency medical treatment saved their lives, but it was a close call. To avoid this risk, never store food in olive oil without strict sterilization. If you plan to preserve vegetables or herbs in oil, be sure that all jars, lids, and utensils are thoroughly sterilized. Use only fresh ingredients and follow trusted canning methods. Once stored, keep the food refrigerated and consume it within a few days. Never leave food in oil at room temperature for extended periods, as this greatly increases the risk of botulism. In short, using olive oil for long-term food storage can be risky if not done properly. The threat of botulism is real and can have severe consequences, but it's preventable with the right safety precautions. How to use olive oil safely for maximum benefits. Olive oil is an amazing product that offers a wide range of health benefits when used correctly. Here are a few tips to ensure you're getting the most out of your olive oil while avoiding common mistakes. Choosing the right oil. Start by selecting high-quality extra virgin olive oil. This type of oil retains the highest concentration of nutrients and antioxidants. When shopping, look for oils that come from regions with a strong olive-growing tradition, like Italy, Spain, or Greece. Labels like DOP or IGP are a good sign that the product meets strict quality standards. Proper storage. Olive oil is sensitive to light, heat, and air. To maintain its freshness, store it in a dark glass bottle with a tight-fitting cap, away from sunlight and heat sources. Ideally, it should be kept at a temperature between 59 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. Storing it this way helps prevent oxidation and keeps the oil from spoiling. Moderation is key. While olive oil is healthy, it's also calorie-dense, with about 120 calories per tablespoon. It's best used in moderation, great for salad dressings, adding flavor to cooked dishes, or as a base for sauces. Overuse can lead to unwanted weight gain, so balance is important. Check for freshness. Olive oil has a limited shelf life, and even under ideal conditions, it should be used within 6 to 12 months of opening. Signs that your oil has gone bad include changes in color, a sour or off smell, and a bitter taste. If you notice any of these, it's time to toss the oil and buy fresh. Consider your own body's needs. Olive oil is rich in fatty acids, which are generally good for you, but some people may have trouble digesting it, especially those with gastrointestinal issues. If you're unsure about how much olive oil is right for you, it's always a good idea to consult your healthcare provider. Experiment with cooking. Olive oil isn't just for salads. Try adding it to soups, stews, or even whole grains after cooking to retain its nutrients. Its versatility makes it a great addition to many dishes, and when used properly, it can enhance both the flavor and health benefits of your meals. Conclusion: the art of using olive oil. Using olive oil the right way is an art form that requires a bit of attention to detail. From choosing a quality product to storing it correctly and using it in moderation, you can enjoy all the benefits of this amazing oil. By following these guidelines, olive oil can be a valuable part of your diet, contributing to your overall health and well-being. Remember, your health is your most important asset. With a little care, olive oil can help protect it and keep you feeling your best. What are your thoughts? Do you have any questions about olive oil storage or usage? Let me know in the comments below.